Okay, hello. I feel like there are a lot of reasons why I wanted to do this like little video. I feel like I have had so many health issues. Today I went to physical therapy and I'm feeling pretty good pain-wise, but that's not the typical day. All right, well, okay, where do I even begin? Because I've had issues since I was younger, but not all of my issues have been there since I was younger. So I guess I'll just kind of like do a recap, maybe like kind of bringing you up to speed. So when I was younger, I was fine. Like I didn't really have any issues until I realized that I really wasn't supposed to be in pain a lot of the time. Like I was having issues with just muscle pain, joint pain, you know, and I just thought that was normal. And it wasn't until like I moved to Oklahoma, honestly, that I got a lot of my health issues kind of realized, I guess. Like we've like diagnoses and all of that, but when I was younger, I was the oldest of 4 kids. I just thought that we were just like, you know, we were told growing pains were normal and that, you know, it's kind of just part of life and you just, you know, kind of get through it. Which is the case, I would say, for most kids, but for me, my chronic pain issues did actually start pretty young. Now, when I was like in middle school, high school, started having like really bad skin issues, like really dry skin. I was really embarrassed. I had long blonde hair, and my dandruff was like so bad that it would like literally like leave like, but I didn't get my period till I was a little bit older, and honestly, like that's kind of where a lot of things started for me. I saw an endocrinologist when I was about 16. I got diagnosed with PCOS, was kind of told that, you know, you just gotta manage it, eat healthy, blah blah blah, all of the above. And then I started going to an adult doctor in Pittsburgh, and you know, they really just said that it was my issues were anxiety, and that I needed to walk more or be more active or lose weight at the age of like 16. And I was not overweight at that age. Like I was maybe a little bit fluffy, like I wasn't like tiny, but like I don't think I needed to be told to lose weight. I needed to be asked more questions. So I just kept going on and on as if like nothing else was really wrong. I definitely have had fatigue issues since probably 2014. Before I moved out of my parents' house, I was like 20 or 19, and really just like I just felt like I was always tired. And it took a few years until I moved to Oklahoma and until I gained a lot more weight that I got diagnosed with hypothyroidism. So hypothyroidism, a lot of people have it. I had Hashimoto's, or do have Hashimoto's. So really my thyroid is, or well, they thought, I guess it's kind of up in the air now. We'll get there. But basically they thought that I had Hashimoto's, a lot of inflammation, a lot of pain, you know. And with Hashimoto's, you know, you do treat the underlying hormonal issues, but there are not always ways to control the symptoms outside of just managing the symptoms. So I got the Hashimoto's diagnosis in 2021 once I moved to Oklahoma and found a doctor that was really listening to me and was willing to check my thyroid. So we did that. She sent me to a rheumatologist, and that's where I got diagnosed with a unknown mixed tissue disorder, or mixed connective tissue disorder. And I'm like, okay, of course, like, okay, that all lines up. Like, I didn't know if that was like, oh my God, scratch there. I didn't know if that was like Ehlers-Danlos or if it was just arthritis. But they started me on a biologic called Hyrimoz, same as Humira, basically, I think. So I take that weekly for joint pain. But I actually wasn't I don't think I was actually given the biologic until I actually started my HS started flaring. So going back to like when I was living in Pittsburgh in like 2016, I started getting these really bad boils like in between my legs and like creases. It just was really, really unfortunate and really painful, and I still have scars, and I mean they act up here and there, but got diagnosed with hidradenitis suppurativa, which is essentially a skin issue that causes boils, and they can become really infected and gross. And yeah, so I got to the pretty moderate stage and then put on a biologic a few years ago, and I have been cruising since. My joint pain is a lot lower, and I have barely had any flare-ups since starting that med. So that's one thing that is in remission that I'm really, really, really thankful for. Another thing that really helped me, that was really big along the process was getting connected and finding a direct primary care doctor. I am obsessed with my doctors, my PCPs specifically, and my endocrinologist. He's awesome. But my PCPs I pay out of pocket every month for extra. It's basically like I can just text them and be like, hey, do I need to go to the hospital? Like for example, I freaking cut my hand on with a serrated knife. I was like, I found just a mango tree, and so I grabbed a mango from it. I was like, ooh, I really want to try this. So I went and cut it, and then I cut my hand like that because I wasn't using a cutting board. Not very smart. Anyways, I texted my doctor today. I'm like, hey, do I need stitches? Do I need to go get this taken care of? He's like, well, a few days too late. I was in Florida. It's just gonna heal, and now I'm gonna have a nasty scar, but it's okay, it's okay. But that's an example. Like I could literally just be like, hey, do I need to go get stitches, or do I need to come in for stitches? Like, and they might even do it there. But my direct primary care doctors have really helped me to understand my body, what's going on, and they've also helped me to calm down as well too, because a lot of my issues are central nervous system related, I believe, and hormonal. So like it's just like really, really confusing, and I think I can be a puzzle piece for doctors, that's for sure. Or yeah, really hard puzzle to solve. So I know I'm kind of like all over the place, but in my mind I'm kind of getting there. But in 2021 we bought a house. I was working in the real estate industry. I was killing it. I was doing really well. That time is really when I started getting more and more sick. And what also was happening in 2020, 2021, and still today is COVID. I've only had COVID twice. First time was really, really rough, and I thought I would have to go to the hospital. I was so sick. But I was able to pull through, obviously. And then I got it again in like 2023, I think. And that time it was pretty mild, but my symptoms lasted for so long. So 2021 is when I started having way more fatigue. And I also started having migraines really bad as well. And I've had migraines since I was younger, and I thought that was pretty normal. My mom has migraines too. She's not really like medicated or anything like that. I'm on preventatives, and it's amazing. I do Botox, all of that, and that is awesome. But to get to that point, I had a migraine with an aura, or what I thought, or what we almost thought was a hemiplegic migraine, where my whole left side went numb. It was crazy. My vision went like, it was like the zigzags, you know, and I couldn't speak. It was wild. So like I just took a migraine med, and I like took a Benadryl, and I went to bed. But the next day I called my PCP, and she was like, yeah, let's go get you an MRI. So in 2021 I got my first MRI, and my results were like, it was like surreal whenever I read it. So, you know, you get your results in my chart before you actually like see, before the doctor can even, you know, see it. So like just on my phone, and I see, oh, test result comes in, and I'm like, okay, cool. I go and read it, and at the very bottom it says, you know, 1.2, 2.1 by 1.8 size pituitary macroadenoma. And I'm like, huh? Huh? What do you mean? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't even know what this means. So anyways, about that time it wasn't until 2023 where So it wasn't until 2023 when I had my first migraine. It was 2021 I got the Hashimoto's diagnosis, but 2023 was when I had my first migraine that was really, really bad. And that's when I found the pituitary adenoma. So that was early summer 2023. And then about 10 months later, I had that tumor removed. So the story with the tumor is really just questions. So many questions, because pituitary adenomas, or what mine actually is a Rathke's cleft cyst, which is also technically like a tumor, like it's growing. It essentially has damaged my pituitary. So not only do I have this growth that I just found out isn't growing. Well, okay, back up. I had one removed in 2024, okay? The first one was removed in 2024, and since that was removed, I've been dealing with the same amount of like issues. Having it removed hasn't actually helped me, but I am managing my symptoms, I am managing everything. Those COVID infections did make me worse. They made my symptoms worse, and I also got POTS with my second infection. POTS, holy cow. POTS is not to joke with. Like, getting POTS is almost as debilitating as my fatigue. And they go like hand in hand too. So it's just like a lot of answers are coming forward, and it's slowly but surely, you know what I mean? Like it is confusing to look back at, but it's also like, I don't know, there's just so much. So I got connected with an endocrinologist in 2023, and he recommended surgery. He recommended removal of that first Rathke's cleft cyst, pituitary macroadenoma. So that following April 2024 is when I actually had it removed. So what they did was they went up my nose, they took it out, and it was honestly such an easy surgery that I was back to normal in just a couple days, though I probably should have taken much more time off. I was in sales, and I just wasn't able to take the time off. Now I work support, so it's a lower threshold of work, and it's a little bit easier and less stress. Basically, having the tumor, getting it removed, all the symptoms made me realize that I needed to slow down in a lot of ways. So that's when I left sales, and that's when I realized I needed to work from home. I needed to make a switch from the busy in-office environment to a work from home, slower type of role. It was really hard for me, and still is really hard for me, because I am very much, I like to achieve, and I like to be busy, and I like to do my job well, and it was really hard for me. And I would say it was the same like with the home builder too. Like it was really hard for me to keep up before I moved to tech sales, and then to tech support is basically where I am now. What is happening now, right? What is happening now? I don't know. It's like really confusing for me, because it's all connected to, not all of it, but most of my issues are connected to my pituitary. I have secondary Addison's disease, technically I think is what I have. It's like secondary adrenal insufficiency. I have to wear my little bracelet, and I have to carry an injection kit around, well, I'm supposed to. And also I'm gonna be on meds for the rest of my life, because my body does not produce cortisol, estrogen, much progesterone. My thyroid's really low because of Hashimoto's, and there are other ones too, but essentially I have to be on all of these hormone replacements because my hormones just don't really do anything. I'm also non-binary too, so like I would be on some type of HRT probably anyways at this point in my life, so it's helpful to be on these and to be able to kind of see where I am and adjust. One struggle right now is my weight. I'm on 30 milligrams of hydrocortisone a day. So that's 3 tablets of steroids a day to keep me upright. Because I have literally no energy. With the pituitary macroadenoma or with a Rathke's cleft cyst, they can damage the pituitary gland. So that's what I think happened, is that the growth hindered or affected the way the pituitary works. And if you don't know, and it's like, how much do I want to go into here? If you don't know, the pituitary is right behind your eyes. So with pituitary tumors, they're always worried about your vision, and then they're always worried about just, you know, the growth and how big it can get there. Luckily, mine hasn't grown in about 6 months, at least as far as I know. I think I'm gonna have surgery in August. It is late June now. I'm not 100% sure just because it isn't growing, if I need to do it in August, but we'll see. But if you look up adrenal insufficiency or Addison's disease or low cortisol, it's actually pretty rare. Like, most people have high cortisol because it's a stressful world. So for me, I have to take medication to literally have energy, or I will be unable to walk. And that's another thing too. 2025, we moved into our home now. We wanted to be a little bit closer into town, a bunch of different reasons. And so in 2025, I was getting fitted for a wheelchair. My energy was so low, we couldn't figure out how to increase my energy levels. My legs, it's like my legs were concrete. And I am not being dramatic when I say that. Even still, on my bad days, I still feel that I still felt in 2025. And I've made a lot of headway since then, thanks to the right hormones, being on testosterone. I've only been on it for about 60 days now, but I think it's actually helping my muscle as well. I was on a GLP as well too, but now my insurance isn't covering it, so that's a struggle. Being on steroids does mean that I will gain weight and the moon face and, you know, some other annoying side effects of steroids. I mean, it's not good to be on them, but if I'm not on them, I will die. So we're not gonna do that. So that was a lot. I immediately crashed after recording that, which is really common when if I talk for a long time, or if I'm working on something really trying to concentrate, sometimes I can crash thanks to just being chronically ill and dealing with adrenal issues. It's hard. Thank you so much for making it this far and for listening. And I completely forgot to record an outro, obviously. So that's what this is. If you have any questions, if you have any recommendations or things you want to hear, let me know, because I'm an open book for the most part. Addison's disease is pretty rare, and adrenal insufficiency isn't very common, though it is common with people who have had chemotherapy or and I mean, with COVID, people are getting sicker and sicker. So I do believe that COVID caused my tumor to grow. I did not have any of these issues until I had COVID. And I mean, it could be a genetic aspect, it could be COVID, it could be both. We'll never really know. But yeah, I would love to connect with you guys on Instagram. That's where I spend a lot of my time, Instagram and Threads. It's Amanda Liz. I'm an open book these days. I do work full-time. I am in school part-time. But I do try and connect with my community a lot, whether it's online or in person. So I really appreciate you listening. See you next time, I guess.